Alright, so I'm going to do the slope of a line, given 2 points. And before I even begin, I need to point this out. The slope of a line is a number m, we usually use m, that describes the steepness of a line. And so the greater the number, the greater the steepness of the line, the bigger the number. So if m equals 3, that's a fairly steep line. If m equals 1, it's less steep than if it equals 3. Now, in order to do this, you need to remember that the steepness of a line, the slope rather, we look at as rise over run. Well, how do we rise? Which axis do we rise on? We always rise on the vertical axis. So, sorry, I should be doing this in blue. We're going to be looking at the change in your y values over your change in your x values. And if you ever forget if it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 or the other way around, just remember, you rise on your y-axis and you run on your x-axis. Alright, so if I look at AB, A has the coordinates 1, negative 1, and B has the coordinates 3, 1. So this is my x value, and this is my, well, my x values and my y values. So I'll say B is my second point. A is my first point. So I'll say 1 minus a negative 1 over 3 minus 1. Well, 1 minus negative 1 gives me 2 over 2, which equals 1 over 1. You could say it's 1, and that would accurately describe it, but I don't want to. I'm just going to say it's positive 1 over 1. So that means I can go up 1 and over 1. And using that yellow is not really all that helpful, is it? So I'm going to use black to go back. So I can go up 1, then I go over 1. I get to this point. I go up 1, go over 1, and I get to the next point. I'm going to do one more example because I want to show something. I'm just going to say the slope of AB equals positive 1 over 1. I'm going to erase a lot of this. Now I'm going to do one more example. I'm going to erase all this too, because there is something else I want to point out. And the last thing I want to point out, and I'm going to take a look at the slope of CD. Slope of CD equals, let's see, well, C has the point negative 1, 2. D has the point 0, negative 3. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I don't know why I did that. x1, y1, x2, y2. So I get negative 3 minus 2 over 0 minus 1, which gives me oh, I'm sorry. It's supposed to be 0 minus a negative 1, which gives me a negative 5 over a positive 1, which means I can go down 5 and over 1. Well, what I wanted you to see is from C to D, if we're always traveling a left to right manner along our coordinate plane, and that makes sense because we're starting from, well, we're starting in the region of negative infinity, we're heading towards positive infinity. From C to D, we're traveling in a downward and to the right, and our slope is negative. And look how steep the line is. But from A to B, we're traveling up and to the right, and our slope is positive. We say that a negative slope, the line is decreasing from left to right, and a positive slope, the line is increasing from left to right. And that's it.